What's up, guys? Welcome to the Matthew Kline Kader podcast, broadcasting to you live from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a rainy day here today, but
I love the sunglasses.
but you
Oh
know
my God.
we got a very special guest, somebody that I've been a fan of since I don't want to age him, but I was 6 years old watching him, and he's a five-time WCW champion. He's been a world heavyweight champion. He's somebody that has definitely left his footprint on the industry. He was a WWE superstar. He's done it all, man. And this is going to be a different type of podcast. I'm a different animal. Let me introduce you to your host, Matthew Kline Kader. Matthew Kline Kader is a bodybuilder that was called out by a UFC champion. Matthew Kline Kader flew out to his gym, called him out on his bluff, and the UFC champion went hiding. So you got a unique host here, and we have an even more unique guest here. And so let me introduce our guest, because this isn't about me. This is about the man. I'm so excited to have him here. And you know what? It's an honor. It's a pleasure to introduce Marcus Alexander. What you guys know about Marcus Alexander, Bagwell? You guys might know him better as Buff
That's
Bagwell.
old school, baby. That's old school, baby.
He's still buff. He's still the stuff. He's a gentleman. He says the girls can't get enough, but Buff, I'm going to say the bitches can't get enough, and we're going to bring you to Vegas, because when you party with Matthew Kline Kader, you're going to have a guy that brings the bitches too. It's going to be a bitches party overload. Welcome, Buff Bagwell, to the podcast.
We're going to have a blast, dude. I can just tell by just meeting you for 2 seconds that we're going to click, and we're going to have a good time. So I can't wait to do it.
So, Buff, like I said, it's an honor, man. And, you made me wait an hour and a half, but you know what? Because you're Buff Bagwell, I would have waited till tomorrow. I was waiting.
Dude,
I'm going to wait.
you know what? And I don't do that. I really don't use me being who I am, trying to be cool. I just don't. I just don't do that. I am so down to earth. Anybody that ever sees me working my gimmick table, I'm the only guy that stands in front of my gimmick table.
Right.
Because I want to be out there shaking hands and meeting people. I actually am a people person. I love people. I like talking to people. And every wrestler I can name fucking hates it. Hates it. And keep in mind, these are the people that are paying our bills. So, I ain't never turned down an autograph in my life. I never will turn down an autograph in my life. And it just, to me, it means so much for me, for somebody to have, the will to go, hey, can I get your autograph? That means something to me, bro. And that's why I always make sure they get an autograph. But you seem like a really cool guy, and I'd love to. Thanks for hanging in there with me, and I had a little setback today, but at the same time, thanks for hanging in there with me, and we're gonna have a hell of a podcast, dude.
Absolutely. So you were telling me about your hair. Tell me, because you're getting your hair done. So $180 haircut. Let me see the hair. You got the hat on. I can't even see the hairdo now.
Dude,
Looks
that sort of a haircut is $180 once you stain it, and they cut it, because they've been in business 40 years, dude. Mm-hmm. They're the number one, hair salon in Georgia. They're called 313 Salons and Boutique is what it's called. And the owner has had 3 heart transplants.
Oh, wow.
3, because they're only good 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he's had 10 heart transplants, and so so every time he does, a fundraiser and that kind of stuff, I'm always there to sign autographs and do what I can do to help him out back from what he's done for me, just from keeping me on board. He could have easily said, hey man, I'm sorry, see you later. said really is just really, really, really having the, just people caring about you and having that swag, being able to walk into a room and instantly take it over.
Right.
Not even trying to.
Right.
You just walk in and you just take it over.
Right. I mean,
because it's just something that it's just the way it is.
Right.
And it's like why is my kid an athlete and your kid's not?
Right.
I mean, we go on and on with that with God.
Right.
And bottom line is, it just equals, why is my son cool and your son isn't?
Right.
We go on with that on and on and on and on and on.
I mean, see, like it starts off with, you got to have the God-given looks, right? You're born with the looks, and then you take it to another level. You're bodybuilding, you're working out, you take care of yourself, and then you go to another level. Because there's some people that look good, but they don't go to the next level, and they just fade out, So it's like some of that stuff, it just comes with it. And then when you have parents, good parents, and I know you had that, they give you that confidence, they support you, and then it's like, okay, that's when you get to that level that a Buff Bagwell does get to. But you got to have all those variables. If you miss one of those variables, you're not going to be there.
And it is like bodybuilding. It's not just how you eat. It's not how you train. It's a bunch of things, and they all got to come together for there to equal a buff.
Absolutely.
Same thing with this. There's got to be a lot of things that come together for there to be a Buff Bagwell and be entertaining and turn that knob up. Not to 9, but maybe 8.5.
Right.
But you got to realize where that comes from. And like, I've never written down an interview in my life.
Right.
In my life, because I came out and I just spoke what hit me.
Mm-hmm.
And that people, I think, really did see that.
Right.
And it made them feel like, damn, man, this guy's a real down-to-earth guy. And he really is just fucking shooting straight,
Right.
He's just telling it like it is, and we love him.
Yeah, and
that's the idea, is you got to get the women and you got to get the men. At first, Marcus Alexander Bagwell had all of the girls.
Right.
But the guys were like, oh, he's a pussy. He's a fag. Right. All the good-looking things that good-looking guys get. Right. Fag, he's queer, he's this, he's that. But when I came up with Buff, that is what it took. That made guys love me, and they thought I was cool, and it allowed the girls to be able to cheer for me without the boyfriend getting mad at them.
Right.
And that's where that is what each and every one of us are shooting for.
Absolutely.
Is to get both parties, the women and the men, and then you get over.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I'm a big fan. I've watched a lot of your interviews, and these guys, they do these shoot interviews and all that. And I saw you doing an interview. One of the interviews I saw like a while ago was this guy Cannibal or something. And I was researching more to like make sure I know what's going on with you, like up to date. And I saw he posted some shit that he challenged you to fight. So I want to say it right now, Buff. Hold on. You never ever should mention this clown's name again. He ain't on a Buff Bagwell level. He's only getting views because that's his career, interviewing guys like you.
5,000 views that I gave him.
But that's his whole career.
Exactly.
He's nothing without that.
Me and my partner came up with. We're never mentioning his name again.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do on our podcast, and that is just simply, he's beneath us. He's stabbed a guy. He gave a guy hepatitis because he stabbed a guy with paint on a spike, and it's just the stories go on and on and on.
But I'm gonna just say this right now. Yo, Cannibal, I'm talking to you. Buff's not talking. I'm talking to you. You want to have a fight? You want to have a street fight? You want to have a wrestling match? Come to Vegas, man. You don't call out a legend like Buff Bagwell. Yeah, I'm a young lion right here, and I'll eat you up, son. You want to mess with somebody? I'm right here. So moving forward, I'm going to come after you. I'm going to harass you now, because if you're making a living off interviewing these legends like Buff Bagwell, and then you're trying to call them out, who the fuck are you, bro? Buff Bagwell doesn't have time for clowns like you. So just let it be known. Anybody fucks with you in the future, you just call Matthew Kline Kader, Buff. I got your back. You don't even have to worry about them. You just send me their info. I'm gonna go after them.
And that's what I would love. That's what I'm gonna do from now on. You are going to be I got a saying, and I got a T-shirt made that says "Meet me at the mailbox." And I came up with that years ago. And anybody that's ever been in a real fight knows what the fuck that means.
Right.
If I'm talking to you and we're getting words and we're getting kind of, and tempers are getting flared.
Right. And
I say, look, motherfucker, meet me at my mailbox.
Right.
That says it all.
Right.
Because I'm going to meet you and I'm going to save you the trip of even having to get out of your car and come to my door.
Right.
I'm going to beat your fucking brains out at the mailbox and put you back in your car and put it in drive.
Right.
And let you just roll down the road.
Right.
So now I can't do that no more and can't be like that no more. Is the way the public's gotten and the way everything is. But you're my guy now, bro. You are my guy. You are my Tasmanian devil. I love it.
I got your back. When was the last time you came out to Vegas?
Dude, the last time was for the Gigolo Show.
Oh, okay. You're not doing that anymore, are you? You're not doing the Gigolo stuff anymore.
No, because keep in mind, I was married. Right. I was married and doing the Gigolo thing.
Right.
Showtime didn't want me to say, hey, this is, I was trying to be real and go, hey, look, if Tom Cruise, screws, an actress on the set.
Right.
That's just a work. It's just a work. And he didn't really screw her,
Right.
So when I told that, trying to take up for my wife, because that's where TMZ was all over me. They were like,
right.
How can you be a fucking gigolo and you're married?
Right.
What the fuck?
Right.
And so they were all over me about that, and they're like the dirt sheets of dirt sheets,
Right.
And I said, look, we needed some money, and I had a car accident, and people didn't know. In 2012, when I flipped my Jeep, when I was in a coma for 5 days, people didn't know if I was going to be back, if I was going to wrestle again. And I changed my freaking number, dude, of all things. So nobody knew how to get in touch with me or anything. So the only way to do it was I called my manager and I go, look, bro, his name was Kevin Belay. And I said, Kevin, it's time, bro. He goes, what? I said, it's time to fucking whore me out. And I said, let's do it. And he goes, oh my God, I've been waiting for those words for so long. So he called one call to Gigolos, and they went nuts. And it was the highest rated show in 5 years of their whole 5-year career they had. that was the highest rated show they had on their network. Now, I ain't trying to be cool when I say that.
Man, you're cool. Stop saying that. You're Buff Bagwell. Get out of here.
That's just a fact. It's just a fact.
Right.
And but Showtime had me sign a $240,000 deal for a year to do 12 episodes. I was going to run Atlanta with the Gigolos. I got several boys here that are all jacked up, look good, and all that. And Garin, which is the inventor of the Gigolo Show, he was running Las Vegas. So we were going to run Vegas. He was going to run Vegas. I was going to run Atlanta. And then we could run together. And then somehow or another, don't ask me what happened, but Showtime dropped us.
Well, that was a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we got to get you back out to Vegas. Hey, I was gonna ask you, do you talk to Disco? Cause he lives out here. I'll tell you a funny story real quick. This was like a couple years ago before I even moved to Vegas. I lived in California. I used to come here party all the time, and he worked at a strip club. He still works there. It's called Sapphire.
Oh yeah, a big titty bar.
Yeah,
one of the best titty bars there.
So I'm there with my brothers. We walk in, and I'm kind of fucked up. I'm like, man, is that Disco Inferno working the front? And then I go out, and I'm like, yo, are you Disco? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, first off, wrestling, you see everyone on TV, you think they're big, and I'm like, bro, I'm bigger than this dude. You were bigger on TV.
He's not a big guy. He's not a big guy.
So yeah, do you talk to him still, or?
He actually, him and Conan have a podcast, and it actually does pretty good. Mm-hmm. I really, really like Conan, and I really, really always have liked Conan. Disco, because we've always got along great. But he pushed it too far with one topic, and I'd be lying if I told you what the topic was, because I don't remember. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you this, it pissed me off enough that I made a phone call to Disco and said, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
And I can't remember what it was. He would know like that, but I don't. And he goes, oh, bro. I thought everybody think it was funny. I go, Disco, it's not funny.
Right.
I said, and you're fucking with my name.
Right.
I said, so let's get this straight. I said, drop it. I said, or I'm going to drop you. I said, I'm not being ugly. I'm not being mean, but let me say it this way, so you don't feel like I'm being ugly. I go, you actually hurt my feelings.
Right.
He did, and he did.
Right.
He actually did. He hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
He actually hurt my feelings over what he had said over this topic, and I can't remember what it was, because I got shit said at me all the time. Mm. So I can't remember what it was, but it bothered me bad. And to the point, I don't call nobody unless it bothers me. And that's the first guy I've called in over 5 or 6, 7 years and said, hey, what the fuck are you saying, bro?
Right.
I said, damn, dude. He goes, oh, I just thought everybody thought it would be funny. And I go, and God, if I knew what it was, even you would go, well, that ain't fucking funny. Yeah. And that's how it was. It was just too much. It was just, he said too much.
Right.
And it kind of put me in a position of, I had to fire back, and I did. I fired back with, you've never been nobody. You are a fucking, you're a fucking B team player at best.
Right.
Really, that's being nice. You're really a C team player.
Right.
I said, you've never been an A team player in your fucking life. I said, so I hate to say that, but now you've made me say it.
Right.
So, now that we've got all that squared away, take your B, C fucking talent you got and go off and play in the sandbox with your children.
Right.
I said, because you ain't got the stardom that we've got, and you're acting like you do. So
Right.
I'm just saying, friend to friend, though, it did bother me enough to know that my friend, my good friend, Disco Inferno, said shit that was way out of line.
Right. Yeah, like, let me say one more thing about Disco. So Disco, like when I met him the first time, he was cool. He gave me his number, and like I'd hit him up whenever we'd go to the strip club, and he'd walk us in. He never like hooked me really up with anything, but I gave him a little tip here and there. Like I don't know what his situation's like, but I was trying to help him out, and it just. But like when I talked to him, like let me say something like. Buff Bagwell is like, I got a list of like wrestlers that I love, like on one hand. Buff Bagwell's there. Disco Inferno ain't even in a list. Like he's not even.
He's not on there.
But no, but let me tell you, you're saying, oh, I don't try to act cool. Like you are being humble. But like this dude tries to act cool. Like, yo, Disco, I know you're gonna see this, bro. You ain't fucking cool, dog. You ain't fucking cool. Those bitches that you could never even fuck any of those bitches at the strip club. So like that's why you're working there. Because you can't get no damn pussy, and you think that might get you an opportunity with some of them. But like, bro, like he tried to like, I've talked to him before. He tried to act cool, like you can't big time me, bro. I would never want to have your career. Like you're not cool because you worked in WCW. You're not. So like this guy, it really does think he's fucking cool. Like no, bro, you ain't fucking cool. Like
no. And let me tell you something. You can't, as you know by being cool, and I can tell by talking to you for 30 seconds you're cool. You can't teach cool.
Right.
It's just in you, and you got it or you don't.
Right. Yeah, if you gotta act cool, if you gotta big time people, then you're insecure, and that's why you're trying to behave like that to make yourself feel better about yourself.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
So, and I've never done that either. Like, dude, I'll see like a janitor. I'll talk to him the same way I talk to anybody else. I'm always me, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I realized with like just speaking with you. Like, Buff Bagwell is cool, and he doesn't act, and he doesn't have to like be over the top and try to diss people to make himself feel good. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you a story that's kind of funny. That there's a titty bar in Atlanta called Oasis, and it's one of the bigger ones. It's cool. It's a real good titty bar. It's called Oasis. And I remember we walked in there, and this is at the height of Buff Bagwell, okay? And all my boys, of course, are like you. They're cool. They're good looking. They got that. They're built. They're hanging out with Buff Bagwell, so they got to have some game,
Right.
or you don't get to sit at the lunch table. You know what I'm saying? You know with lunch tables.
Absolutely.
You got that one row, and then you got the second row of chairs, and then you got the third row of chairs.
Right.
That's how high school is, and that's the truth, and that really does make sense a lot. But he did that, and I was like, dude, I said, come on, man. I said, you can't push being somebody that you're not. You got it just comes natural.
Right.
I said, you can't say, you're cool and not cool or whatever. It just comes out of you. But we was at this club one night, And I swear to God, every girl, this was so fucking, I've never said this in my life, except I've said this on podcasts, but I've never said it differently. It's always been said the same. And that is, I said, oh my God, this is actually so cool that it's uncool. And what happened for me to say that is every fucking chick in the bar was at our table. Now, you know this answer, but how much money do you think I had spent so
Zero.
far? Fucking
yo, Bob, hold on, bro. I love you, man.
You know,
bro, Bob, hold on. I gotta tell you something funny, man. Every time I've told any dudes that like I'm friends with, like, yo, let's go to strip club. I don't want to spend money. Like, bro, what the fuck you talking about? I ain't going there to spend no damn money. Like,
I ain't spending a fucking dime.
Yeah, see,
they're gonna come over and they're gonna give me free table dances. Exactly. I may buy them a drink.
Exactly. The only thing you spend money on is liquor. That's it. The bitches ain't getting no money. They're gonna come home for free. All that, you ain't worried about that shit. You know?
No, not at all. So it ended up where the manager walked up to me. And every set of eyes of the other, as he called them, patrons, the other people, he said, Mark, he goes, Buff, would it be okay if we let some of the other girls go to some of the other patrons? And I go, dude, I haven't spent one fucking dime here. I said, so they're here because they want to be here.
Right.
And about the time we're having that talk, my Capital One commercial comes on TV at the fucking club.
That's crazy. Man.
And it was like, but it was so cool.
Right.
That it was uncool.
Right.
It really was. You know that.
100%.
It was like, and I instantly, as soon as I saw that, I went, hey guys, let's go.
Right.
And of course, when I say that, everybody's up and we're out the door. Right. You know, because we went straight to the Cheetah because we like the Oasis over Cheetah. But Cheetah, you had to dress nicer and you had to have a certain dress code, and no matter who you were, and you still had to have a little bit of dress code and all that. So I was like, dude, I go, I'm not doing that, you know. Right. So my Capital One commercial's on. Every girl is at my table, and the manager's asking me if he can have some of his girls over to the other patrons. And I went, guys, it's time to go. So I go out and get my fucking $2,000 payment a month, Jag. Right. They made $500 a year worldwide. It was going to XJR. And they only had $500 a year worldwide they made, and that's why I got it, because I always like getting something different. Right. I don't get things that are the same or even close to the same. I want it to be different. And so we got there, we got it done, and went to the Cheetah, and we had a great time. But still, it just is one of those things. I've never been in that boat before where it was so cool that it was uncool.
Right. Yeah.
And I said, guys, it's time to go.
I just love the fact that he asked me how much did I spend, and I knew right away zero. And you know, someone that says that knows what's up because you never like if you ask anyone, they're like, "Oh, I
I
don't
mean,
know."
it's hey, just the way you fucking said it tells me everything I need to know. Just the way you fucking said it.
Oh,
And that's the catch of what guys don't realize. They think, oh God, well, you gotta buy a table dance and
you got to go to the VIP room. You got
yeah, you gotta
to.
eat and spend 50, 60 bucks. Fuck that. I bet you without and this is through being drunk and having fun and just not giving a fuck. I bet you I ain't spent $500 in a titty bar in my entire life. Total.
Oh yeah. All I know is, you know, all the money that's gonna get spent is on liquor. That's it. You know what I'm saying? If you
Yeah.
do spend anything. So
Right.
yeah. And let me ask you this, like, man, because like I said, okay, let me tell you this. When NWO started, like I thought the cool dudes were like Hall and Nash, and then when you and Scott Steiner got together, I was like, oh shit, like these guys are like cool on another motherfucking level. Like Big Papa Pump and Buff Bagwell, like I love Big Papa Pump too. Like you
Dude.
guys were the fucking like dudes, and like as jacked up, like Scott Steiner like jacked like a freak status, like his arms and shit. But let me say this, because like nobody has mentioned this, and I don't know even know if you have, but you're gonna know this. You had the best feature that Scott Steiner would have loved to have. You had an extremely nice chest, no homo. Like, cause like when I'm a bodybuilder, and I look at the body, and like you had the chest.
When we walked out straight ahead, I actually had him.
Yeah.
I actually had him.
Mm-hmm.
With chest, traps, pecs, abs, and my back. I had a huge back. I had him. But he would turn when we got to the camera, and Scotty was 3D.
Right. Yeah, like I said, he had freak like arms, like his triceps.
So as soon as turned sideways, where my arms wasn't weak, but they looked weak because my chest and back were so big.
Right.
So, you know, you can't have it all, but Scott Steiner, bro, let's just call it like it is. He was number one. He was.
Like, were you guys training together? Like, or were you guys on the road? Oh,
no.
Okay.
He went, hey, we begged him to tell us what he was doing. You know what he said to us?
What?
He said, I figured it out. Y'all figure it out. I said, Scotty, fuck. I said, we're never going to look like you.
Right.
I said, now let me be me for a minute. I go, I look second best to you, motherfucker. There's no doubt.
Right.
I said, but I do not look like you. I will be man enough to say that. I said, but damn, dude, what the fuck? We're never going to be able to beat you.
Right.
So why are you scared to tell us what you're doing different?
Right.
But he was into the growth more than we were at the time, and you know what? I shouldn't say that. I don't know that.
Right.
I don't know that.
Right.
That's what the boys said.
Right.
All I know is Scott Steiner's got incredible genetics.
Right.
He is unbelievably genetic freak, and he never ever did legs.
Right.
And his legs and calves were incredible.
Well, have you ever said like if you were like what you're training or were you on like on a cycle? I mean, I gotta say you gotta assume you gotta be on some gas there. So like, have you ever said, yeah? Because I mean, I've heard like Lex Luger said he had like the most simple cycle, which was Test and D-Bowl, and that's like those are amazing. I love D-Bowl. Like,
I love D-Bowl. I would do Test, Deca, and D-Ball.
Yeah, and you know,
So
and I know like
two orals, and I mean, two injections and an oral. You're that's Mac Daddy, and they're safe drugs.
right,
D-ball is very safe for you. Deca is the safest, and it's good for your joints. And testosterone is what your body already produces.
exactly.
So when all of a sudden, Tess went from, oh my God, he's on testosterone, he's on steroids,
Mm,
and that went to, wait a minute, everybody needs to be on, low T, low T. All you started seeing was all these commercials about low T,
right,
low T. So, you went to a doctor and you got it prescribed legally, and that's all it was. But if you see any baseball player that plays in the dead of summer that's got some size on him, he's on fucking something.
right,
He's taking a little bit of tests to keep his weight on him. He's taking a little bit of something, bro. And with keep in mind, we were Turner, so we had to get Eric to go. Look, bro, you got to get them off our back if you want me and Scotty to look like this.
right, right.
So he did. He got them off our back, and but still, it just makes people feel better to say, "Oh, they're all gas,"
Right. Well, let me add this because like a lot of people that don't know or about bodybuilding, and you know this, Buff, but I'm saying it for the people watching. Like, you can't just take steroids and look like Buff Bagwell or Scott Steiner.
No,
Like I can inject 1 billion steroids in your ass, like every steroid ever made, and put a lot of it inside you, and you will
and
never
you're
look like
not gonna
if
have
any.
Scott Steiner's arms.
Yeah, you're not gonna look like Scott or Buff Bagwell, like not even a little bit. Because if you're not training right, you're not eating right, you're not recovering.
Genetics and
Genetics, yeah, it's
genetics.
a lot. It's a lot of variables there.
It really is, and people don't realize that. They think you put a shot in your ass and magically, poof, you look like Buff Bagwell. That's not the fucking case
Right,
at all, and you know that.
right,
And really, I think over the years, the last few years even, people have realized that you just can't do that. I would give them anything. I would pay for their cycle. And at the end of their cycle, they would not look like me.
right. And Buff, I know you'll agree with this statement. It's like you shouldn't even touch that shit until you've like got the most out of your body naturally, and
Right.
then you hit it off to get to the next level.
That's the whole key. There's like, for example, there's a good friend of mine that I won't say his name, but a good friend of mine that does very well with his testosterone readings are very high. And I was like, and he asked me all the time, he goes, "What do you think I should do?" I go, "Dude, you look great." I said, "Once you put that dart in you, you're going to be putting that dart in you for the next 20 years." I said, "Now to me, I get off on that. To me, that's cool because I just know that's going to keep me going to the gym, keep me, dedicated, keep me looking like Buff, and that's why it's important." But at the same time, it is a little bit of a game changer of, when you start getting down around that 200 or 300, mark, which 200 is the lowest, 1100 is the highest.
Mm.
And, and you just got to know what you want, and you got to know your body enough to know what you're doing along with genetics, how you look already, and knowing that no matter what you fucking did, your chest was not gonna look like mine.
Right, right. Well, yeah,
Period.
that's what I wanted to make that mention that like you had a much better chest than Scott Steiner and he was
Yeah.
bigger. So it's just it's not like Scott Steiner's not training chest. He just
No.
couldn't he didn't have that genetically ability to grow his
It's
chest. Like for
and
me
keep
too, my chest is like my best feature. I had to stop training my chest cuz it's like built and I started doing other shit, you know. So
right. Well, that's smart because I actually, instead of stopping, what I would do is I kept my chest and back rolling because, see, when you got the back I had, if you remember, my back was huge, dude. I mean, if you saw me in a battle royal, you could pick me out every time because my back was gigantic. But still, you had to have that. But when you had those two, chest and backs, when you had chest and back, your arm is going to look a little bit thin.
Right, right.
So I chose to train arms twice a week, and that was how we got by with it, and still looked good enough to where I could, get by with it,
Right. So
But you just got to gamble and go with the best you can, and just keep lean. If you're lean, as good as I do. When you're lean, your arms are gonna get lean, and there's gonna be things that are gonna get lean, and not like lean good, like lean, skinny,
right, right.
and you gotta catch that fine line, and you gotta ride that fine line, and you gotta figure out what was best for you, of how you looked, and so that's how it came out.
How's your training now? Like, are you okay like health wise, like injuries, like over the years of wrestling and like
Oh
catching?
God, I'm 100%.
Oh, okay.
I'm 250. I'm 250 right now.
Oh, nice.
I'm 250, and really, I don't want to be 250. I like to be in my heyday, I was 228. When I looked my best, and Buff Bagwell was shredded and looked his best, he was 228. But if I can, have abs at 250, so be it. But the problem is, I'm not being able to do cardio real good because of my knee. But as soon as I'm able to do that, that's how pro bodybuilders do it. The bigger you can get and do cardio, then you're going to be bigger and better, and you're going to be stronger and tougher, and that's how it is. So you got to just, it's constantly playing with it. It's constantly dabbling with it, constantly,
Right.
and then just making you the number one you can be,
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, you're still looking good. It's just all about consistency, and
Yes, brother, it is. It
so
is.
tell me, I saw something about the rebuilding buff. What is that?
The rebuilding buff and how it came about was my podcast guy. That's my podcast partner. His name's Michael Long, and I saw rebuilding buff on his shirt, and that was what we were calling it. But I thought, if people really read that, do they really know what rebuilding buff fucking is?
Right.
And what rebuilding buff is no more double-fisted beers coming in and partying and just getting more down to, serious of trying to get a job with AEW or just to be professional, man. No more showing your ass and, getting in trouble and all that. And that's where rebuilding Buff is. And bro, we had 5,000 views on that fucking stupid ass Cannibal. That crazy motherfucker, because, they knew, and all of them were dogging him out, realizing that they believed me, because I explained what rebuilding Buff was. And I realized that when I read it, that nobody really knew what rebuilding Buff was. And I wanted them to know that rebuilding Buff was rebuilding me, making sure that I'm not going to be, partying and showing my ass and getting in trouble and just showing the people and the fans that when they see a podcast like this, that there's no slurring words, there's no, I'm not fucked up. I mean, I'm really, really, really trying to show my fans, and they have really stuck with me on just being, Buff Bagwell again, Marcus Alexander Bagwell, in other words.
Yeah, like Buff Hole, I'm gonna tell you something. We've lost so many legends from your era, young, Kurt Hennig, Rick Root, man, crazy. Now that I'm in my getting into my late 30s, mid to late 30s, and I'm seeing like these guys dying like at the age that I'm gonna be soon here, it's crazy to me, And
Hey,
it's like,
dude,
and
think
I just
about
want you
this.
to know, Buff, because these motherfuckers you talk to, they're not like me, okay? And we love you, like the fans, the real fans like me. At the end of the day, I'm a fan, cool or not. All the real fans, they love you, and we want the best
Yes,
for you. And I feel like I'm not like super religious, but I'm a very positive, I'm very spiritual, and I do
right.
believe in God. And I feel
Yes.
like we connected because like I really want to help you. Like I was telling you by text message, like bro, like I seriously want to help you. Like it's not even about what can I
Oh,
get out of it. Like I
it's
want
it's
Buff
it's
Bagwell. Buff Bagwell needs to be living comfortably. Like, dude, you dedicated your fucking life to this business. Like, this is your life. Like, you didn't have kids, right? Like,
no,
yeah, that was like probably a good thing because you were so invested into the business. That was your kid. The wrestling business
yes,
was your kid. And it's hard to be at that
yeah,
level that Buff Bagwell was. And like,
yes,
you get to this point, like, whoa, what happened to my motherfucking life? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
I can
right.
relate to that, like I
Yeah,
understand that
and,
because they're like,
I'll let it get ahead. I'll let it get a little bit ahead and let it get a bit wild, a little bit crazy, but at the same time, that's where it was time to draw the line and let people see that there was no Mark Bagwell slurring his words on podcasts, nobody that was fucked up and doing things wrong. I wanted my fans, and they have been nothing but supportive of just being Marcus Alexander Bagwell again, and just being so with the fans, and the fans being with me, and it's been really working tremendously. And that's what we're doing. We're rebuilding Buff.
yeah, like I said, we spoke off air. I'm going to be there for you. Like, I want to see you succeed. And I'll tell you this, like, a little bit about me. When I was a young kid, I was like 21 years old. My dad committed suicide. And, like, I've seen, like, shit like that where someone's feeling low, and like when you tell me a story like Disco Inferno hurt your feeling, like dude, that pisses me off. Like this is supposed to be positive, people uplifting each other, and especially in the wrestling community, those are
Right,
like your brothers. Like they should be
right,
all have your back. And let's just say it's for views, right? We know it's a work,
right,
people are working all the time. At least give a call, hey bro, I'm gonna say this on my show, just letting you know, like so you don't take it like serious, and then at least it's fucking coming. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to
right,
work,
right.
let the guy know you're working. But if you're gonna be a dickhead, like that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? So
That was said perfectly, and that's That's what we're going after is not trying to, make up things that are not true, just simply showing the facts, showing the facts. And everybody's been drilling Cannibal, over wanting to fight and all that bullshit, and just stupid things like that don't mean anything. He's not even on my radar, dude. He's not even in my fucking galaxy.
Right.
He's not even in my galaxy of stardom.
Right.
If he woke up in a dream and thought he was in my galaxy, he should wake up and apologize to God instantly. Because that motherfucker ain't been nothing but nobody his entire life except a pothead, and he fucking wants to drill everybody and get all my friends turned against me and all that shit. That's just not cool, dude.
Right.
So, but still, it is what it is. Everybody's got their freedom of speech. But the bottom line is, he ain't got what it takes.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Buff, everybody, you just got to surround yourself with positive people, and when you're around good people,
that's a bullseye.
Yeah, when you're around positive people, that's an influence. If you're around people getting fucked up, doing stupid ass shit, then, you become a product of your environment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but yeah, no, I'm happy, you got your head on straight and you're working towards a goal. That's awesome. I mean, look at Sting. Isn't he? I don't watch wrestling today, but I saw some. He's like an AEW, right? That's what it's called. I saw some.
He's doing very well. I saw him the other day at AEW doing a signing. He came up and just the hug he gave me was a genuine fucking, like, I love you hug, and that made me feel so good that he wasn't, still judging me, because he was at the stage of judging me also for a while. Mm-hmm. And I can't blame him, because I, was doing things that was wrong. And, but still, to have him be in your corner, bro, that's really, really, really that's a big name, bro. That's a big name.
Yeah. No, I'm just happy that you're setting a goal for yourself, because that's what you need. Once you have that goal, and you know how to do it, man. You did it in bodybuilding, you did it in wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
Also, I want to mention this before I forget. I saw your mom passed away, so I want to send my condolences to you.
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you. Yeah. She was a trooper, bro. We called her the Warrior. She ran a 1970s and 80s lumber yard. 200-man employees, trucks, no computers. The old days of the pink, white, and yellow slips for your copies, and there wasn't any keeping up with your computer and all that. It was just keeping up with that. And my parents were, like I said, for 17 years, my parents owned a lumber company that made $1 million a fucking month.
Wow.
And that's in the 70s and 80s of a woman running it. So it really turned out great, and it turned out super well. And it got us, through everything we needed to go through. And of course, they call it heat in wrestling. In Marietta, Georgia, we call that shit jealousy. And I drove a vet to school, so that's heat.
Right.
But at the same time, it's really not heat. It's fucking just what you want to make of it. Is this really, really what what you want to do? Is this really what is the point? Or are you just driving your Corvette to school because you have a Corvette?
Mm-hmm.
And that's gonna be hard to do at 15. So you get the old, the the heat thing, and but like I said, in Marietta we called it jealousy because that's the same fucking thing it is. It's just they decided to call it heat and wrestling instead of calling it, instead of calling it jealousy in wrestling, they decided to call it heat.
Right. Um, what about your dad? Is he still around?
Dad's still doing great. He actually broke his hip the same time Mom passed,
Mm-hmm.
so he was down and out at the same time, and it's I feel like it's going to be one of those. I hate to say this, but I think it's going to be one of those boom boom things, and I don't want it to be. But I just really think it's going to be, you know, just, you know, he lost his wife, he misses his wife, and he's gonna move on also, because he's tore up about it still, and I am very difficult, very different biblically, and that is I came up with, you know, if you really read the Bible, when you die, it is supposed to be a celebration.
Mm.
You are chosen by Jesus Christ to be on, you are chosen on that date to be the chosen one that God picked for you to go to heaven.
Mm.
And so, it gets as deep and not deep as, but the bottom line comes down to you just stick to your basics of there's a God, there's a Jesus. Jesus died on the cross for our sins at the age of 33. He came out 3 days later and showed everybody that he was the chosen one and just that kind of stuff. And then you're in this thing called a lamb. Once you've done what you're supposed to do, you're in the Lamb's Book of Life. And once you're in the Lamb's Book of Life, there's no taking you out of that. So, it just comes down to just knowing your position, knowing what's going on, and just being aware of it and being very, very, happy and just being, just being who you are,
Right.
and just there's no fake, nothing about you, and you just describe that that Jesus Christ loves you, and he's done a lot for you, and you believe in Jesus and know that he gave you everything and died on the cross for your sins. And if you believe that in your heart and your soul, I can't tell you to believe it. You can't tell me to believe it. But if you believe it in your heart and soul, you're going to heaven. And that's just the way it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to ask you one last thing. I saw, or I think I heard it in one of your interviews. You were saying that your brothers were like big wrestling fans as kids. So, what
Yeah.
did they think like when you became a star? Like, were they like your biggest fans, or like how did they?
It went the other way, bro.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it went the other way, bro. You know how that goes.
I actually had a similar situation.
My oldest brother was a stallion athlete.
Hmm.
He signed a full ride for the University of Tennessee Volunteers, and was second string as a freshman. And he didn't want to be a freshman again. So the coach, after their first string guy got hurt, even came back and said, "Look, bro, if you come back, you will be the first string running back. But here's what you got to compare with. Being the first string running back and getting beat the fuck up all the time, or working for your multi-million dollar parents." Now, it's easy to say one or the other, but until you're there in that spot, you just don't know, man. And it's kind of tough.
Right.
It's kind of tough.
Yeah. I mean, I was raised in a way where my dad was always, he wanted a unit, his family and his sons. And when my dad passed away, I have two younger brothers, and we lost that mentality because he wasn't there to coach them. I still had it, but like I became like a bigger deal to like than they are. They're just normal people, and like everyone always asked them, "Hey, where's your brother? Like, what's your brother doing?" And they, instead of thinking that as a positive, they took that as a negative. Like, oh, everyone's always asking about my brother. So I could relate to you how you're saying, that kind of went the other way.
Yeah,
But like
it did. And I mean, my own brother, my oldest brother, which is my, he was actually my, idol. And he said, you took my spot. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, you took my spot from, me going to be the Bagwell that was going to be the 6'4", because my brother was tall and big and broke every record at Spraberry High School, still holds 5 or 6 rushing records and all that. But at the same time, it ain't my fault that I became the star and had to pay their mortgages for them. So I just opened up my company called the Robuff Inc. and made them, instead of just throwing away $1,200 down the toilet, I was able to pay them write their taxes off, and at the same time give me my taxes back, from signing a 1099. So that's where it ended up, and it made the most sense, and it all worked, and so it I mean, for a family where there's a star making $1 million a year, there's going to be some jealousy, I think, no matter what. And you just got to realize, your brother's proud of you, or your brother's, a little bit, jealous of you, So
right.
There's a little bit of both, but still we were able to come through it and still be great brothers and still be great fans. And we just did that. And so we made it work.
Right. Well, Buff, it's been such an honor to have you here today, and I'm
Hey, I
definitely.
appreciate it, man.
No, this is not the last time we do this. I'm definitely we're gonna do like a full career interview, because like I wanna like I've broken down your career, and you'll
Absolutely.
be amazed with the information I'm gonna hit you with. So like
Dude,
I'm
I love it.
gonna.
Because here's the catch. There's not a fucking question you can ask me that I won't love to answer. You can't catch me off my horse, no matter what, because I don't have anything to hide. And that's why I stay popular with podcasts, because I don't hide and I don't lie about anything.
Right.
And there's nobody that can prove me wrong.
Yeah.
So you can fucking ask me anything you want and just let it all fly. And that's what makes podcasts good. And we will do that in the future. I would love for you to. But the next time we do this, about a week out, I need to do a little promo saying, hey, going on, Kader and this and that, and just make it a cool, get ready. It's going to be all the chain, one of those just short little promos. So at least they know we're coming.
Right. Right.
Not just up and doing it. So
well, I said,
we can go live. We go live.
Well, I'm gonna be after you because I think I want to start a podcast with you. It's your show and I'll direct it. And dude, if we do the show right and tell the stories, there's a billion stories. This podcast could be huge. That guy Conrad. That guy, he's making so much money off his fucking podcast. You know what I'm saying? Because he's getting the guys. He ain't doing shit. He's just hosting you. So if I do the same thing he is. He's doing the hosting part, all that stuff. But you're the character where you're gonna tell all the stories, and then you get all these ads on there. Man, there's so much money to be made just off of that. Just off of your history. Bro, WWE Network, they make money off people watching the old shit. They don't even care about the current shit. They get my money because I go watch all the old shit. I don't even watch any. I don't even know the new guys. I'm watching it. So.
No, and neither do I. So that's what it's all about, is showing who the real stars are and who we are, and just talking about that and just having a good time with it, man, and just you lining as good as your brain is at this junction. You got to figure, showing all of the details and telling the truth of what's going on and why it's going on, and why are we this and why are we that, and that's just going to be off the chain.
Like I said, Buff, we're going to be in touch. We're going to do this again. Whatever happens, we're definitely doing at least a career podcast. And like I said, it's been an honor, pleasure. You don't understand how big of a deal this is to me. And because like I said, I'm a massive Buff Bagwell fan. And I got your back. And I know all the other fans around the world, the true fans, got your back. We're here for you. And we're excited for the rebuilding Buff, for AEW, whatever you aspire to do, we got your back. So thank you again for coming on, and I will be in touch, Buff.
Okay, buddy. I really appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. And like I said, all we got to do is just line up I do want to do a promo of when we're doing it so people know that we're coming. And let them know we're coming, and because we've got such good stuff to talk about. People, we just don't want them to hear about it and then start catching up to it and missing some of the podcasts. We want them to know we're coming and know that we're going to get all the facts, and for it to be part of it, so that's what we're going to do.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, no, I got to connect with your guy, your manager over there, and we got to have him set everything up. It just has to be organized. You need somebody to help you with all that shit. So
yeah, no, he's real good. He's real good at it. And this is my little media room, and I'm getting ready to put all my pictures in here. I got the brick wall behind me, to show, and I ain't got it all fine tuned yet, but it's all gonna look real good when we get it all set up, and this is gonna be my media room.
Did you go with the bricks because of the tights you used to wear with that had the bricks on?
Dude, those fucking tights I've heard more about anything. So yeah, kinda.
See, it's
But
memorable.
those tights were the coolest tights I ever had, bro. And guess what? They were the first ones I ever had.
You still have all that stuff?
Oh, I fucking over the years it gets gone because people offer you $1,000 for them, and you need the money, and just
Oh, you gotta make more shit.
exactly.
Make more, wear them one time, and say these are authentic Buff Bagwell tights.
Oh God,
that's
dude.
what I'm saying. There's a whole business, Buff. You don't need to be out in the ring. You gotta monetize all this shit, bro. There's so much money, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just a matter of you gotta realize there's so much that I need help with.
I'm gonna help you, Buff. Listen, Buff, listen. I don't give a fuck about making $1 off Buff Bagwell. I want to genuinely help Buff Bagwell because I see opportunity for dollars and dollars and dollars all over the place.
Yes.
And then when you get that, and you be like, man, God is good. Put me in touch with Matthew Kline Kader, and look at this, like blossoming. It's execution. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you're like Hulk Hogan. Even Hulk Hogan, his shit's not executed right. Like I see even stuff with him. Like, man, if I fucking help Hulk Hogan, he could be selling proteins and all types of shit. So it's like everybody there's. You gotta execute. You gotta have a plan. And you gotta execute it. Like I said,
you gotta pull it through. You gotta pull it through.
I'm gonna be after you. I'm gonna get you going. We're gonna get this shit going.
Baby. Stay with me. Stay with me. I love your attitude. I love everything about you. You got the right mojo. You got the right swag. You got the right charisma. You got everything I'm looking for in making this work. So I need somebody like you to help me with this.
Absolutely. So I'll be in touch with you. I'll give you a call. We're going to chat. Like I said, thank you again for coming on. And I'm going to give you a call in the next couple days. We're going to talk again, Buff.
That sounds great, brother.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
Yeah, I really appreciate it so much, man. I just want to thank you so much for having me on your show. And just want to say thank you so much.
Love you, Buff. We'll be in touch. Have a good night.
I love you, buddy.
All right, man. All right, guys. That was Buff Bagwell. Let me fix this here. Oh, absolute pleasure to have Buff on, man. What a podcast. That was super cool. I'm going to definitely reach out to him, see if we can get maybe a weekly podcast going and tell stories. And I want to help him out, man. Like, it's I see these things, that Buff's gone through, and it sucks. Like, when your friends, nobody's there, and you people make mistakes, man. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes. Nobody's fucking perfect, but it's nice when some people just stick with you and they understand that. And and I see the good in Buff, man. He's a good fucking dude. Like, that was our first conversation, and just talking to him through texts and phone calls. Very nice guy. Like I said, I've met other wrestlers, and not even on the level of Buff Bagwell, that think they're fucking big time, so I appreciate him being on today. I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you. And we'll be back. This podcast will be available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please follow me Instagram at Shallow King. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me a direct message. Thanks again for being here for the Matthew Kline Kader podcast. This is your host, Matthew Kline Kader. We're out.